Hey, how's it going, guys? In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to create a simple data entry application to simplify data entry tasks in Google Sheets using Python. So here's the application we'll be creating. So it's a very basic data entry form. From this data entry form, we have a couple boxes, subject, status, and we have 2 date fields. We can use this widget to display a calendar to simplify the date selection task. And here we have another drop down, basically gives you option to select different time values. And the assignment field is a free text field, so we can type anything we want. Followed by 3 push buttons and the status message bar. And this is the Google spreadsheet that I'll be using for this exercise. And you can download the spreadsheet by going to File. And if we click on New from Template, in Google Sheets, there's a list of available templates that you can use. And the one I'm using is called Assignment something here. Assignment Tracker. And it's under Education category. And if we look at this Google Sheets template, we have 6 columns: subject, assignment status, time, start dates, and due dates. So if I simply choose a subject, let's do computer science. And for status, I'll set in progress. And for start date, let's use today's date. And for the due date, let's use January 27. And in the assignment field, I'll say project XYZ due. Here I can use the shortcut Alt-A to perform the data entry. So here let me explain column A. So for subject, it's going to be computer science. For the assignment detail, it's going to be project XYZ. And it's going to be in progress. For the time required, it's going to be 30 minutes. And start date and the due date. And the next thing about using Python to create a GUI application and integrate with different third-party applications is that, or especially Google Sheets or Excel, is that you can use the features already available on either Google Sheets or Excel. You don't need to write additional Python code to handle additional tasks, such as conditional formatting or data validation. For those things, you can handle that easily in Google Sheets. And before we get started, there are a couple things you will need. So first, you will need to have a Google account. And second, you will need to have a Google Cloud account. And ideally, you should have some experience using different Google API services, such as Google Sheets, Gmail, YouTube API, YouTube Calendar API, etc. And since I'll be building the GUI using PyQt5 framework, it will be pretty nice if you have some experience building pure Qt5 applications. And other than that, that's basically everything you need. Now let's get started. So first we need to enable Google Sheets API service by clicking on this navigation menu. And we want to go to APIs and services. And want to click on library. So before we can use any Google API services such as Cloud Vision API, Google Sheets API, YouTube API, we need to enable those API services. So here I'm going to search for Google Sheets. And here we want to enable Google Sheets API service. And once we enable the Google Sheets API service, I'm going to open my Python script. And here I'm going to create a blank Python script. And I'll name the script demo.py. Alright, so let's take a look at the import statement. So inside the demo.py file, I'm importing the system module. And from pyqt5.qt-widgets module, I'm importing QApplication, QWidget, QComboBox, QLabel, line edit, push button, date edit. So this widget is very similar to the QLine edit widget, except that using the QDate edit, we can select both dates and time or just dates or time by itself. I also use horizontal box layout and vertical box layout to organize my widgets. And from the Qt core module, so here I have a typo. I'm importing Qt class, QDate class, QTime class. And from the Qt GUI module, I'm importing the QIcon class so that way I can insert an icon to my window application. And from the Google module, I'm importing the create service function. So if you don't have Google Python client library installed, you can use the command to install the Google client Python library. Same thing with pyqt5. If you don't have the library installed, you can use the command pip install pyqt5 to install the library. So here let me insert my code snippet. And in my main routine, here's my Q application instance creation. I'm setting the Q widget font size default to 30 pixel. I'm also going to rename my application class. I'll name this class Google Data Entry. And going back to the class instance creation, I'll fix the name to Google Data Entry. And for the instance name, I'll name this instance form or data entry form. And here I'll use the data entry form.show to display the application. Now if I simply run the script, and that's going to give us a blank window. Alright, so we can start creating the data entry application. So I'll start by creating my interface first. So from the Google Data Entry class, I'm passing the QWidget class as the parent class. And here I'm going to remove these two lines. I'll simply set my minimum width to 1100. I'll start by inserting the window title. I'll name my window Assignment Tracker. And to insert my icon, I'll use the self.setWindow icon method. I'll insert the QIcon class. Inside the class, we need to provide the icon file path. And it should be lowercase c. And to create the widgets, so I'll create a method to perform the task. I'll name this method initUI. And let me go back to the constructor. Here I'll create an attribute. I'll name this attribute self.service. I'll set the default value to none. So basically, I'm going to use this instance to check whether or not if the Google Sheet Service instance is created. And going back to the initUI method, I'll create a dictionary. I'll name this dictionary self.lineEdit. So basically, I'll be using this dictionary to organize my lineEdit widgets. You'll see in a second. Now going back to the data entry app. So we have two combo boxes, actually three, 1, 2, and time. So start date and do they are date time edit widget. And here's my Qline edit field. So I'm going to create my assignment item or widget, and it's going to be a Qline edit widget. I'll make maybe 5 more copies. Actually, I just need 2 more. And this one will be start date and do on date. And both are going to be QDate edit widget. Now I want to create my combo boxes. Again, I'm going to create a dictionary code self.combo box. And we have 3 combo boxes: subject, status, and time. And all of these are going to be Q combo box widget. And for the drop-down item, or the combo box item, here let's go back to the spreadsheet. So from this template, if you go to the subjects tab, and here are a list of subjects that populates the combo box item. I'm going to copy the list, and it's going to get added to the subject item. Actually, let me do this. Let me go back to the main routine. And I'll create 2 lists. The first list, I'm going to name the list subjects. And just in case, if we ever want to add additional subjects, we can do that easily in the main routine. So we have math, biology, computer science, chemistry, statistics, and English. And because my subjects are not sorted, so I can sort by alphabetical order using the sorted function. I'll also do the same thing for status. So for status, let's see. So we have 4 items, and ideally we should have 5 because the first item should be a blank string. So here let's go back to the status list. So my first element is going to be an empty string, not started, in progress, done, and skipped. I'm going to insert a bookmark here. Also insert another bookmark on line 23. Now going back to the subject combo box, I'll add all the items from the subjects list. And for status, I'll add all the items from the status list. And for time, I'm going to manually just type the items. So we have 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hour, and 2 hour maximum. Now I want to create my layout objects. And from the look at this application, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 rows to store different widgets, and another row for push button, and the last row is going to be my status bar. So I'll name this as layouts Pearl, and it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 4. And all of them are going to be Q horizontal box layout. And this should be self.layout. So going back, I want to add all these layout instances to my main layout object. And because all the sub-layouts or child layouts are in a dictionary object, so I can do that easily by iterating each item from the layouts object .items. Oh, it should be 4 key and value in layouts .items. And I'll type self.layout .add layout, And my layout object is going to be coming from the V object. And back to the constructor. So here I'll code the init UI method. Alright, so we have create the combo box and the line edit widget. Now we need to add all the widgets to the child layouts instances. So let's start with row number 1 first. So from layouts number 1 dot add widget, I want to insert key label item first. And it's going to be subject, colon, space. I want to set the alignment to the right. And if we look at the application, so here I want to set my label proportion against the combo box between between 10% or 12%. So here let me do this. So I'll set the ratio to 20%. Actually not 20%. 2 out of 7. So the total size is going to be 7. I'll assign 2 to be the ratio. And to add the combo box, and it's going to be subject combo box. And I'll assign the ratio to 5. When the layouts instance, this layout instance, adding these two widgets, it's going to look at the ratio number, then it's going to resize the widget proportionally. Now let me run the script, and here I have a typo somewhere. Oh, forgot the equal sign. Now if I launch the application, and this should be singular. So this should be add items. So that was my mistake. And align. This should be align right. So if we look at the combo box and the label size ratio, based on this window width, the label widget is going to take up to, let's see, so if I take out my calculator, 2 divided by 7, the label is going to take up to 28.5% of the window width. And the remaining of 71% is going to assign to the combo box. And we'll do the same to the status combo box. So I'll copy these 2 lines. And this will be status. And this will be status again. Alright, so that's for row number 1. Now let's do row number 2. And layouts 2. Dot add widget. So this is going to be start date. I'll assign the ratio to 2. Alignment is going to be to the right. Then I want to add my start date line edit widget. I'll assign the ratio to 4. Now I'll copy these 2 lines. Here, one more. And I'll insert space, actually not space, empty line. So these 2 are going to be do on. Because I'm using a dictionary to organize my widgets. And since I can reference each widget by using a key value, and the key value can contain space, so when I organize my widget, or if I want to modify some of the things, it'll be much easier. And when I want to update multiple widgets based on the same grouping, and I can basically use the dictionary key, and this will be time. And there's no time key. Oh, okay, so I made another mistake. So time should be a combo box. Right, so here's my row number 2 and my row number 1. So far so good. Alright, so let's continue. Now we're going to create our free text field. And right below the start dates widget, I want to just insert a little bit of space to separate these two rows. And I can do that by referencing the main layout object dot add spacing. I'll add 15 pixels of space. Then I can add my assignment widget, and it's going to be label assignment. I will assign a shortcut to assignment field by inserting an ampersand symbol next to letter A. Now I can add my assignment QLine editor instant, and this should be an attribute. So self.label assignment. Here I'll insert the self.label assignment instant. Here's the typo. Assignment. And below that, I can insert the line edit widget assignment. And what's going on with my... Here, let me check something. My autocomplete just disappeared. This should be true. Now going back to the application, right below the free text field, I want to add some more spaces right below that. So self.layout.add spacing. And this time I'm going to add 25 pixels of spaces. And oh, I forgot one thing. So when I perform the shortcut Alt-A, the focus is going to set to this free text field. And to make that happen, from self.label assignment, we need to use the setBody method to pair up the widget. And the pair widget is going to be self.lineEdit assignment. Now if I press the L key, and noticing that here from the assignment label, with the shortcut indicator pop up. Now if I select something on the status combo box to in progress, and I use the shortcut Alt-A to set my focus back to the assignment field, then I can type the assignment name. So Python project or something like that. So we have almost completed the interface. We just need to insert the push buttons and the status message bar. So from the layouts dictionary, I'll add a key code buttons. I'm going to assign Q horizontal box layout to the buttons key. And I'll add the instance to the main layout object. Now let's create our push buttons. I'll name the push button dictionary to buttons. And from the buttons dictionary, we are going to have 3 buttons. So the add button, reset button, and the close button. So here I'm going to type equals to Q push button. And it's going to be add and reset. And I'll set the shortcut key to letter R and close. Since I did use letter 8 for shortcut key, here let me go back to the assignment. Let me use letter S as the shortcut key to set the focus. Now looking at the application, so my add button and reset button are the same size, but the close button is slightly narrower, so the width is not as wide as these 2 buttons. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to assign an object name to the close push button. Actually, do I need to do that here? We don't have to do that. I can directly apply the CSS style sheet to the close button. So from buttons, giving the close key, the set style sheet. I want to set the font color to red, so I can insert the property name color, and I'll insert the font color name red. Now we can add those push buttons to my layouts. And it's going to be the add button, reset, and close. Now let's take a look. So here are my 3 push buttons. Oh, and I forgot to change the button width. And let's do 20 pixel. And noticing that the buttons width are not changing. So here we need to push the buttons toward the right a little bit. So if we look at the layouts here, I'll reference the buttons layout. Then I'll use the add stretch method to push the push button to the right. Now all the push buttons widths are now in their correct size. And going back to the main routine. So here from the app.setStyleSheet method, I want to set my push button default width size. So I'm going to set the class name. And I want to set all the push button width to, let's do 250 pixel. And for the height, I'll set the height to 45 pixel. I also adjust the Q-line at the widget height. I'll set the height value to 45 pixels as well. So that means this should be 200, not 20. Now let's take a look at the application. Now the push button size are now more proportional. And the last widget we need to add to the application is the status label. So I'll name the status label object as self.status is equals to QLabel. And the status label has its own CSS style sheet. So self.status set style sheets. I'll simply change the font size to 25 pixel, and that's it. And I'll add the status label to the main layer object. Alright, so we have officially complete the interface. So here's our combo box, my status combo box. And oh, so I forgot one thing. So I forgot to set the calendar pop-up to true to the start date and do on widgets. And to turn on the setting, so here I'll use the method set calendar pop-up to true. And I'll copy and paste to the start dates line edit. Now this time if I click on the start date widget, it is going to give me a calendar interface. Right, so we have completed the interface. Now we can create the functions to perform different tasks. So let's start with something easy. Let's start with the close push button. So I want to close the window when I click on the close push button. So on the click signal, you can simply reference the app instance.quit. And for the reset push button, so let's create the method here. I'll name the method reset fields. So the concept is pretty easy. When I click on the reset button, it's going to reset everything back to the original state. And we're going to set both start date and do on dates to today's date. So self.line edit, and this will be start date, and this will be do on date set date. And you can insert QDate class current date method to return the line edit value to today's date. And for the combo boxes, subject, status, and time. For the combo boxes, I'll simply set the current index to the first item. And for the free text field, and which is the assignment field, I'll simply clear the text. And I'll clear the message bar as well. And I'll assign the reset fields method to the reset push button on the click signal. Now let's take a look. So I have an error. Oh, okay. So I typed the code in the wrong place. So it should be go into the push button widget creation. So it should be right here. Alright, so if I change the date to some other dates, so let's do January 21st. And let's do December 31st, 1999. And if I click on reset, it's going to set everything back to default. So hello world. And I'll use the shortcut Alt R. And everything's clear. Alright. So going back to the reset fields method, I'll copy this method and I'll add it to the constructor. So we'll call the method when we finish constructing the interface. So let's see. So the last function we need to create is the add entry to Google Sheets function. So I think this is going to be the most important step when we are building this application. So to create a Google Sheets API service instance, we need to provide a client secret file. So outside the constructor, I'll create my constants. And let me grab the client secret file name. And for the API service name, it's going to be Sheets for Google Sheets. API version is going to be v4. And for the scopes, I'll use the SSO scope. So it's https www.googleapis.com/auth/spreadsheets. And for the tab name, and it's going to be assignments. Oh, and I forgot the Google Sheets ID. So I'm naming this as Google Spreadsheet ID. Okay, so we have to think about the flow, the application flow. So when I launch my data entry application, I want the application to automatically connect to the Google Sheets. So here I'll create a method called connect to Sheets. Inside the connect to sheet method, what I want to do is I want to insert a try except block. I'll create my self.service instance first. And from create service function, I'll insert all the required elements. So client secret file, API name, API version, and the scopes. And if the service creation is successful, then I want to update the status message to connect to Google Sheets. Oh, and because I'll be updating the status bar multiple times, so here let's simplify the process by creating a function to do that. And I'll name this function update status. And we're going to have two parameters. The first parameter is going to be the text that I want to display. The second parameter is going to be the font color. And I'll set the font color to white by default. So inside the try block, from self.status, set text, and we set the text argument. And to change the font color, we can use the setStyleSheet method, and we need to adjust the color property, and it's going to be the color value. And if we run into any error, then I'm simply going to ignore the error. And here is the update status method to update the status text. And I'll change the color to light green. I think the hex value is 266953. And if we run into an error, they want to display the error message. And we can use the self.update status method to insert the message. And for the text color, let's do red. So we'll use red to indicating this is an error. Oh, and here I've got the semicolon. Now we can take this connect to sheets function or method, and we'll call the method when we launch the application. Now let's take a look. So here I'm getting the sheet service created successfully message. And for some reason, this function didn't get executed. Let me see. So it turns out, after we connect to the Google Sheets service, we have this self.update status method perform. And because when we run the reset fields method, it's going to clear everything, including the status label. And to fix the issue, we need to move the reset fields method above the connect to sheets method. Now if I launch the app, and here we have our connect to Google Sheets message. Alright, so we can create the last method to add the entry to the Google Sheets. So I'll name the method add entry. So when we add a record to a Google Sheets file, the first thing I want to do is I want to check whether or not if the service instance is available, or if the Google Sheets API service is created. So here I'm going to insert if statement. I'm going to type if not self.service. And this value is default to none. So here let me insert bookmark here. So from the constructor, we set the service value to none. Then I want to update the status bar to Google Sheets. Service is not connect. Otherwise, I want to grab all the values from my data entry application, and I'll store the value in a list object. And I'll name the object as record. So we'll start from the combo box. Here, let me come out this line first. So we'll start from the subject combo box. The current text. Actually, the order should be based on the Google Sheets file. So we have subject first, assignment, status, time. Here I'll grab the column headers. So next will be assignment. And do on dates.text. Now we can insert the entry to the Google spreadsheets. So I'm going to insert a try except block, exception, a C, and self.update status. I'll grab this line right here, and I'll copy and paste to here. So inside the try block, I want to save the output as response. Actually, it's not necessary since we're not going to display the result. So from self.service.spreadsheets.values to add a new entry to the end of the table. In this case, will be row 11. We need to use the append method. .execute. Inside the append method, we need to provide the spreadsheet ID to the spreadsheet ID parameter. So the spreadsheet ID is going to be coming from self.Google spreadsheet ID constant value. And also need to specify the beginning range of the table. So if we look at the table, the first entry actually starts from cell B5. So insert F string, and it's going to be the worksheet name or the tab name. Ampersand symbol followed by the cell address B5. And for the value input option, it's going to be user underscore entered. And for the insert data option, I want to insert by rows. And lastly, we need to provide the values we want to insert to the Google spreadsheet. And we need to set the major dimension first. And it's going to equals to rows. Actually not equals to, and it's going to be rows. And values is going to be record. And because we need to insert the record as a nest array or nest list, so we need to wrap the record object with a pair of square brackets. And once we add the entry to the Google spreadsheets, we can clear everything, and we can insert a message, entry added. And for the font color, I'll use the hex value 266953. And that's it. Right, so this is everything we need to write to create this app. Now let's test the app. So I'm going to launch, I've got the comma here. I'm going to run the script to launch the application. So by default, we're going to connect to this Google spreadsheets first. Now let's say that I want to insert a new record, and I'll set the subject to computer science, status as in progress, and for the time value, let's do 1.5 hour. And for the start dates, let's use next Monday. And the end date will be, let's do January 29. And for the assignment, this is going to be Python final exam. And here I can use the shortcut Alt-8 to add this entry. Oops, it's not working. Oh, I forgot. So I forgot to assign the add entry method to the push button. And it should be right here. I will send the method to the click signal. Now let me try again. So subject is going to be computer science, And status is going to be in progress. For the start dates, I'm going to use today's date. And due date, I'll use 29. And this is going to be Python final exam. And to add the entry, I'll use the shortcut Alt-A. And that's it. So here's computer science, Python final project in progress. And 30 minutes is going to be the default time that I require. Start date, end date, and the status message. Alright, so this is everything I want to share in this tutorial. And hopefully you guys found this video useful. And if you have any question or any feedback, please leave them in the comment section below. And I'll see you guys on the next video.